So let me ask this question: with all these factors that we've talked about so far, with potential recession and in the different market that there is this a situation where the larger number of real estate photographers that are out there, is there going to be a number of them that fold?
Yeah, the stark reality is that some of the companies are going to close up shop. Those that aren't prepared for the shifting market, those that aren't willing to adapt to change, those that stop marketing their business. I mean, there's a lot of things that you need to do to make business work. And in good times, it's easy to not do those. Mm-hmm. And then when the market contracts and things are harder, those that are willing to put in the effort rise to the top, and those that aren't, go find something else to do.
Welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. With your hosts, Todd Kivimaki and Craig Magrum.
Welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. Spiro is a software platform for you to manage and scale your real estate media business. I'm Craig Magrum. I'm the business development and client care specialist for Spiro, and also your host here on the Spiro Podcast. And along with me, as always, the podcast co-host and Spiro owner and founder, Todd Kivimaki. Hey, Todd.
Hey, Craig. Hey, it's great to be here. We survived Vegas, and it was a great conference. My first time there, your second time there. I think I joked the last time you were there, I said it was in black and white. So it was a new experience for both of us. And it was fun. Great conference. Excited about that. Thank you for listening today. If you're just tuning in, we appreciate you. If you're coming back for another week, we are excited about this week. We think you're going to get a lot of great information out of this podcast today. You don't want to miss out. There's some uncertainty about the market and just what the real estate industry is going into. Now's the time. As a real estate photographer, you should be thinking strategic. What is your plan? We're going to hook and we're going to hit on all of that today. Very excited. The formalities, because Craig's got them on my sheet here and I need to do them. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It helps us. If you have a friend and they don't know about us, tell them about us. Tell them about us. So anyways, without further ado here, let's jump into the content here. Craig, did I miss anything? Email us. You can email us. Sorry, guys. Email us, hello@spiro.media if you have a question. Again, we want this to be your podcast. We had fabulous conversations at the conference last week. Lots of great questions. If you have a question, just ask it. We're here to help. And if we don't know, we're going to find somebody. We've had some fabulous individuals on the podcast giving their knowledge and sharing with us and with you. So reach out to us. We'd love to help. We'd love to just be an ear and be with you along with you in your journey. That was the one thing that probably was resounding at the conference was there's a lot of individuals that got together and it was like, oh, great. There's someone else I can talk about either houses not being ready or how do I scale my business or how do I hire somebody or what is a bookkeeper and just confiding and getting information from someone who's not your competition in your city, but that's a fellow photographer or a media expert in another city that's going through similar things that you're going through.
Yeah, you and I were talking off camera, Todd. It felt like a group therapy session. It was really good. Just so many good conversations and opportunities to network with others and bounce ideas off each other. Mm-hmm. And I just really enjoyed it. The last time I was there was black and white. It was 93 or 92, 93. How old were you, Todd?
Yeah, you're not that much older than me, Craig, but you are older, so I have to give you heck about it.
Right. I think we've come back looser and more relaxed after Vegas, and it's been a couple of weeks since we recorded an episode as well. So if we trip up here and there, just know that we're getting back on the bike here. So we're excited though. As you mentioned, this episode we started a kind of a new segment to the Spiro Podcast called the Owner Spotlight Series, and we're going to continue that this week with somebody that's actually been on the podcast before, but we really want to highlight him and his business and get his insight on this week's topic, and that's marketing during a time of recession, or what we think is a coming recession. And so, Todd, I'm going to hand it back over to you and let you introduce our guest here.
Yeah, so Pete Stagl is a fabulous friend of ours. He's a beta tester in the software, and he is just an incredible wealth of knowledge. We got to spend, Craig and I and Nick, our team, got to spend a lot of time with Pete, and I'm excited to have him back on today to talk about not only just marketing your real estate media business, but how to market in uncertain or recession times. He's got some great information. These are things that you should be thinking about and implementing in your business. So, Pete, we're excited to have you here. Pete is with Servant 360 out of New Mexico, and welcome back to the podcast, Pete.
Thanks for having me back, guys. It was great seeing you and hanging out with you at the conference. Great to be back on.
Good times at the conference. Some great stories that we're not going to share on camera, but we can share off camera.
Yes, it was a great time networking, great time hanging out with you guys. I got a lot of FaceTime to see some of the things that you're working on in your businesses and the things that we're working on, and then everybody else that we met. The people. It's great to put faces to the names that we see online, and we're interacting in the Facebook and the networking groups that we're in. And so it was great to see all of that.
Yeah, it really is a community, and especially when we can come together face to face like that, man, there's just that sense of community and the shared industry that we're in. It felt great. And, just being able to connect with you as well. Before we dive into the subject of marketing through recession times, can you tell us a little bit about Servant 360? The first part of the topic is the owner spotlight. So we want to spotlight you and Servant 360. Tell us a little bit about your business, Pete.
So we're a real estate photography and marketing company here in Albuquerque, New Mexico is our home base. We serve the entire state. I look at it more from a marketing business rather than just a photography business, because we're here to help the agent market themselves and their listings. It's not just all about the listings and doing photos and then that's it. And so we do a lot of, the photos, floor plans, virtual tours, video, and then we're getting more and more into the more personal branding aspect of it to help actually brand the agent, whether they have listings or not. And so that kind of works, on both of our sides, so that, they get more business because they're branding and they're, marketing themselves appropriately. And we get more business because they don't necessarily have to have a listing for us to be working with them.
Great idea. And I'm sure you'll hint on some of that about being recession proof. But I think all of us feel it out there. These times are changing. Inflation, interest rates. We just had midterm elections. There's just a lot of things that bring uncertainty. And I know we talk about it at WOW and look at what is happening. What's the market like? Like, Pete, I know you're real in tune with this, the economy, and just the housing market is the largest indicator of the economy, or the largest influencer of the economy. So what is your take heading into these times? It's mid-November of 22, and gas is still expensive. Inflation seems to be through the roof. We keep seeing interest rate hikes. What does that mean to us as real estate media creators, Pete?
Yeah, unless you've been living under a rock, you're hearing all of these, layoffs. I think Facebook just laid off a whole bunch of people. Google's laying off people. All these large companies are starting to shrink back and making it so that they can weather the storm of this economic storm that's coming. Nobody really knows how big or how small it may be, but there is a storm coming. There is, houses are staying on the market longer. They're selling with less offers. They're still selling, but they're selling with less offers. Mm-hmm. Maybe not so much over asking. At least here in New Mexico, we're seeing a lot more at asking, along with seller concessions, and it's a lot closer to where it was back in 2019. Not before the pandemic, before the steep rise in the sellers market. Interest rates have skyrocketed, like you said, over the last several months, and the foreseeable future they're still going to go up. That takes a toll on the market. I mean, people who had a buying power at a lower interest rate of say $300,000, now it's $250,000. It's $50,000 off of their what they can afford to buy, and so that's a big chunk that they now no longer can qualify for a median priced home. But you know what? The inventory has not caught up to where it should be. Around here, I think we're still at about 3 months worth of inventory, and historically we should have, I think, about 9 to 10 months worth of inventory, something along those lines. So we're still very short on inventory. Again, here in New Mexico, from what I've been seeing, it's about the same across the nation here. And so the prices aren't coming back down, and so it's a very odd market. I mean, because there's no inventory, prices are high, nobody can afford to buy anything, and so but stuff is still happening. Sales are still happening. People are still marketing properties. It's different. It's not that 07, 08 crash type thing. It's completely different factors. So there are definitely some people out there saying, "Oh no, it's going to be another real estate crash or something like that." It's not the same. It's not different factors, anything like that. Todd, your business was around back in then. Mm-hmm. You weathered just fine. I mean, you guys have been in business for what, 20 years?
Yeah, since 2004. So going on 20 years. And yeah, we grew right through the recession, the 7s, the 8s, the 9. But one thing that was different was the fact that 7, 8, and 9, there really wasn't a real estate photography or media industry. I mean, it was so different back then. I continued to build through brokers because brokers had money, or they at least had funding. Real estate agents didn't have any money. I think I shared this with you, P. I quit asking anybody why they were moving. You ask enough people why they're moving and they say, "Oh, we lost our house." It's like, what do you like? Sorry, like you're in a house trying to make small talk, and it's like, "Oh, where are you guys going?" In 06, it was like, "Oh, we're upsizing, or we just got a promotion." 08, everybody's losing their houses, and it's like, it's sad. These families don't know where they're going. So, so we continued to sell through. It was a little bit of a different industry. I think the tactics can still be the same. And I know you feel the same with that, Pete, with marketing is marketing and building relationships is building relationships. But it's just times where you got to buckle down and you got to stick to your guns, and you got to have the confidence, and those little thoughts will pop into your head that this isn't going to work, but you got to push them out, and you got to push through. You got to believe in your purpose. You got to believe in your vision, and you have to go.
So let me ask this question: with all these factors that we've talked about so far, with potential recession and in the different market that there is this a situation where the larger number of real estate photographers that are out there, is there going to be a number of them that fold?
Yeah, the stark reality is that some of the companies are going to close up shop. Those that aren't prepared for the shifting market, those that aren't willing to adapt to change, those that stop marketing their business. I mean, there's a lot of things that you need to do to make business work. And in good times, it's easy to not do those. Mm-hmm. And then when the market contracts and things are harder, those that are willing to put in the effort rise to the top, and those that aren't, go find something else to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great point, Pete. So let's start with maybe what is some of the low-hanging fruit, whereas we have a real estate agent that is struggling to get people into a property. The house is set on the market, and they can't get buyers to look at it. What is our messaging to that real estate agent?
So this is where we can really shine as real estate media companies. A lot of realtors in the past 3 years, they haven't been interested in all the services that we offer. They all they had to do was throw up some photos and list it on the MLS, and poof, it was sold. They didn't need to do real marketing. And quite frankly, right. I see a lot of realtors going out here in the next couple of years as well. I mean, there's always a turnover in the real estate for agents, but there's anybody who's gotten in the last 2 to 3 years, they've never really experienced what it really means to be a real estate agent. They've just had to take photos, put it up on the MLS, and poof, it's sold, and they can
collect their commission.
Collect the commission, exactly. Mm-hmm. And there's no real marketing, and that's where we can shine. Again, as media creators, is they're going to need a lot more of the services that we provide. These listings are gonna need the virtual tours, the video, the the virtual twilights to stand out, everything that we can do to truly market that listing. And this is our time to educate our clients, our agents, on the different services that we offer and how that can actually help them market the listing and get more buyers through that listing.
So what are some creative ways that we as real estate photographers can market ourselves to not just stay alive, but actually maybe even grow during this impending recession that everybody's talking about, Pete?
So as you guys know, I love business, and I've studied different businesses for the last couple of decades. And
I couldn't tell from the last week at PMRE how much you love business.
It's funny. I'm an introvert, but when I'm around other business people, all looking to better themselves and learn and grow, I come alive. It's that, what do they call it? An ambivert, where you come alive when you're in certain situations.
Those of you listening, watching, we witnessed this live in front of us in Las Vegas. That city just does something to you. Anyway, sorry to interrupt, Pete. Go ahead.
Yes.
No problem.
We were getting real serious there. I had to break that tension a little bit.
Of course. So, studying all of these businesses, it's really interesting that which companies survive and which companies really thrive in recessions. Did you know that some of the biggest, most profitable businesses that are in business today were started during recessions? Microsoft and Apple, Netflix, Airbnb, even Disney. They all started in the midst of recessions. Some of them obviously worse than others, but I mean, recessions are recessions. People are there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of contracting in the economy. People aren't willing to spend their money. And so, for these companies to be started and to grow and thrive, it's really interesting to take a look at that. But in times of uncertainty, a lot of businesses shrink back and eliminate spending. I mean, that's the first thing that people look at is like, I'm not sure I'm going to have enough money to pay my bills. So I should, get rid of that office space. I should, cut back on my advertising, eliminate that marketing spend because they don't see an immediate return, or they don't look at it from a return standpoint. They're just looking to, what do I need to do to survive? And, realistically though, this is where we need to double down. Because if you're contracting on and eliminating all your spending, who's going to know that you're still in business? And so, this is where we need to, double down on our marketing efforts and make sure that everybody knows that, yes, we're still out here. Yes, we can help you. Here's all the things that we can do to help you grow and help you survive the recession as well. I mean, people are looking for that. They're looking for businesses and companies and people to come alongside them and say, you can do this. And here's, let me help you with that. Especially during the midst of a retracting economy, because a lot of agents are similar to photographers in media companies in that they're almost little islands. They don't really have a core group that they can come around. They have their brokerage, but they're all still kind of competing with each other, and it's more so during a recession where that it looks like there's a lot more scarcity out there, and so people are like, well, I'm not telling that guy what I'm doing, and I want to just do my own business and screw everybody else. But you get a lot more of that dog eat dog in a scarcity mindset, and so if you can come alongside your agents and come alongside your clients to say, hey, I'm still here, I can help you market the listing, and not be looking out there as like, I just need to get more money out of my agents, but looking at it, serving your agents in a way that you can help them generate more business by, like I said, personal branding, or even on when they do have a listing, to get it sold as effectively as they can.
Right. I worked almost 20 years in radio, and of course, advertising is one of the main revenue sources for a radio station. And one of the things that I was talking constantly with underwriters on, and I worked in non-commercial radio for a long time, but also then a commercial station, was exactly what you just said, Pete, that during tighter financial times, people want to retract their spending. And one of the first things they are tempted to look at is their marketing budget. but that really causes kind of a vicious cycle and a catch-22, where if you pull back your spending on advertising, then yeah, people don't know you. If people don't know you, they're not going to spend with you. Your finances go backwards even more. And then you want to retract even more on your spending. And then you get less and less recognition. So the one thing that we can do as real estate photographers is, again, what just to reinforce what you said, is come alongside that realtor as a marketing consultant and say, look, this is the last place that you want to pull back your spending on. Let me help you come up with some creative ideas so that your name is still at the forefront of people's minds during tough economic times. They're going to know and trust that you're sticking around. You didn't fold. You're here to serve them. You're a professional. You know how to market their properties. So I was thinking about my radio days and realized it's the same thing. We're an advertising agency basically for a realtor.
Mm-hmm. And, and this is something that even in good times, I mean, how many, we're constantly in the business, we're constantly shooting properties, but most of our agents, a decent agent does 12, the median, about 12 listings a year, so maybe once a month they're thinking about real estate photography. And so, as it is in the good times, you have to keep reminding them that you're, right. Hey, we're here. We can help you. And so much more so in bad times or in slower times. And, it's interesting, we've already seen a lot of our clients are starting to look at some of our other packages, some of our other offerings to see what they can do to help market their listings. Because, as I said, it's slowing down. They're starting to sit on the market a little bit longer. Almost everything that's on the market is not priced right because the market's changed, and so they're doing price reductions. They're doing we're going back out and reshooting. I mean, we shoot for a large national company here in our market, and we've had to go back and reshoot half a dozen listings just in the last couple of weeks that we shot, and then they either moved out or they had to go back in and they wanted to stage it or clean it up, paint a little bit more, stuff that they didn't necessarily need to do over the last 3 years because like I said, you put some pictures up and it sells. Whereas now those pictures have to actually look good. The property needs to be in good condition. It needs to be ready to have for the transaction to move forward. Otherwise they're like, I'll pass.
Yeah. So Pete, what are so for our listeners out there that need to take the first step and maybe they're thinking, I'm going to stop spending money on marketing. And marketing is a little bit of, and this is probably a whole nother discussion, but marketing, you don't market and then see the effects tomorrow or the next day. But for those individuals out there that are saying, okay, I hear you, Pete. I know some of the largest business were built during a recession, and I see the value in building now. What should be a first step for them, or an option for a first step when they're thinking about marketing to realtors and marketing their business?
So, this is a great time to get out there. I mean, there's been several different topics that you guys have covered here on the podcast on how to market your business, but making sure you're out there, making sure that you're connecting with your potential clients on social media, on email, calling them, anything that you're comfortable with to make sure that they're making sure that they know that you're still in business. But this is a great time to make sure that you're offering all the services, and that way, when your client calls you and says, "What can you do to help me?" Which, to be fair, they're not all going to necessarily say it in that way. But when they call up and say, I need get this listing marketed, I need to get listing photos or what have you, you need to be able to step into that advisory role and say, are you sure you don't want, or would you like to have a virtual tour? Would you like to get a video and be able to explain the benefits, not the features, the benefits of those services that you're offering that will help market that listing. And that'll go a long way because, they're already looking for new ways to market. And if you're not offering all of these services, they're going to find other providers that are. Yeah. And quite frankly, if they're doing a better job of marketing themselves, you may lose that client just because it's easier to go to a one-stop shop, somebody who does the photos, floor plan, the virtual tour, the video, and everything, one call and does it all type of thing. And so, this is also where having an efficient ordering system in place and delivery system such as Spiro, because you can upsell and kind of provide, walk your clients through what they need to be providing on their listing. So, they order just photos. Well, now you have your add-ons, and then you have your upsells, and add on, I'll take a floor plan. And then you can, do your upsells of, would you like a vertical real style video, and give a little bit more information on as to how can that help them? Or of course, when they call you, you can do the same thing. But having your systems in place, having all of the services that you offer, being a one-stop shop is really going to be more important as we go into the future here. And
I think I'm gonna piggyback right off what you just said. There was one or two conversations I heard in Las Vegas at the conference of a couple of photographers that said, "Yeah, I only do photography right now. They're not offering video," and it was just kind of an aside. And I just thought, in this constricting market that we have, in the fact that realtors are looking for more one-stop shops, and they're looking for more than just a photographer, because to a realtor, photography is a commodity. If they're just wanting photos, then they're going to look for the cheapest price possible. But if they're really looking to survive a recession as a realtor, they're going to want a more, I hesitate to use this word, but a more professional company to work with that is more than just a photographer, somebody that's really going to bring some wisdom to them on how to market themselves. And I think the companies that are going to fold are going to be the ones that say, well, I'm only comfortable doing photography. I don't know video. I don't know how to do it well. So I'm just going to keep doing what I do.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the name of the game in this industry is to increase your average order value. And it's very hard to increase your average order value if all you're doing is photos, because the only thing you can increase is either the number of photos you do or the number of properties you shoot, and which isn't the order value, but that's the only way that you're increase your revenue there. And so when you offer other things, you offer the floor plans, you offer the virtual tours, you offer video, you offer the vertical style video, you do agent on camera video, you do any number of things there. Even going to your ordering system, offering the property website and some marketing collateral and whatnot. All of that stuff it increases your value to that agent and increases what your potential average order value can be. And so it's very hard to do that if all you offer is photography.
Todd, wouldn't you say that it's the same case for the realtor? If all the realtor is offering their client is photography, and they're not providing a more full marketing experience for that potential client, that they're going to lose out on listings as well.
Yeah, that great point, Craig. That was one thing that I was just going to say is let's put ourselves in the realtor shoes for 1 second. The realtor has to market their business as well. And one of the big ways that they do that is their past listings. You probably noticed out there that your heavy listers continue to get listings because they have listings. So you either have to find a way to get listings so that you can continue that snowball. But the way they get listings is in a listing presentation. So they go out to a property and they've either they know them, it's a warm lead, it's a referral, or they got them because they're going to do a CMA, a cost market analysis. And they're going to go out and tell the couple how much their house is worth and how they would market it and how they would stage it and what their team would do or what they would do to get their house sold so that that couple or that homeowner can move on to their next phase in life. When they're sitting at a table or when they're sitting across the couch in a living room in the house that they're hoping to sign a contract, they are selling themselves as a realtor. I can't tell you the number of times that we at WOW have heard from realtors saying, oh, I showed the photos and the video and the aerials and they were hooked. No other realtor came in and offered a video. a 3D tour, a floor plan, what have you. If everyone out there is marketing with photos, every realtor, and there's different level of photos,
yep,
then you as a realtor should do a little bit more to get the listing. So these are all things, these are conversations that I have with my realtors, and they actually have with me. And it's great when they call and they say, hey, I got the listing because no one else offered to do aerials or video. It's like, in 2022, are you serious? Like, no one was going to do a virtual, a video, or aerials. And you got the listing, and you're making, it's a $400,000 house, and you're going to take your 2.5 or 3%, and you're going to net 1% of that. So those are one things that I always just would encourage you as a real estate media creator, is to put yourself in your client's shoes and understand what they're trying to solve. And when you can do that, then you've got kind of the ace in your pocket. I know a lot of our realtors, they go out and we have what we call an all listing page, where they can go and they can see all of their past listings in Spiro, and they can sit there and they can tell the happy couple across from them, look at the place down the road I did the aerials. They can go back and, I sold, these individuals, let me go back to that listing. They scroll down the page, they click on the media, boom, it's all right there. That is a sales tool for them. And I just want to make sure that our listeners understand it out there, the way that they sell you after that listing has been sold, they're selling to prospective homeowners as well.
Yeah, and that's been very important, even in times of in the hot market that we were coming from. That was one of the things that I was telling my realtor clients as well, is that it's not so much that you just need photos for this listing. You need to show that you're going to do more and provide more value to your clients than just sticking it on the MLS and it's sold. Because if you're not providing any value, then the seller is looking at it as like, what did I just pay them for? I mean, I could have taken photos and stuck them up on the internet and sold my house at that point.
Yeah.
And so even good times, bad times, it's good to educate your clients on, it's all about getting that next listing. It's getting, in building their brand and their business.
Let me switch gears a little bit. We've talked a lot about the practical things that we can do to market ourselves, our real estate media companies, and also how to market the realtor during these tougher financial times. But let's talk about the mind game and the psychological aspect of this. We've talked before about the doom and gloom outlook. There's a lot of doom and gloom reporting happening right now, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can find doom and gloom everywhere if that's what you're looking for. But now's the time to stay positive and avoid that fear-based news that's coming, at you from all angles.
It almost becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If all you're going to be looking at is the challenges that are coming instead of the opportunities, well, then we go back to that. Well, the photography company might close. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And this is actually one of the great things about the conference, PMRE, is that, you're surrounding yourselves with other people that are, in the same boat effectively, and who are positive. And they're looking at, all of the, yes, things are going to get a little bit more difficult. Things are not going to be as easy as they were the last couple of years. But, there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of things that you can do to market yourself, to market your business, to grow your business. I don't know how many people I talk to that aren't doing some of the things that have really successful businesses, but they're not doing some of the things that we're doing. And there's plenty of things that they're doing that we're not doing, that we took some takeaways on from the conference and just talking with people of, how we could potentially, streamline our business or grow our business or just offer some new products and services. And so, surrounding yourselves with people who build you up and have a positive outlook is so important, especially during times where everything seems to be closing in. Everything seems to be doom and gloom, and the world's coming to an end. Well, yes, at some point it will. It's not.
It's not now.
It's not now, exactly. And if it is, do you really have anything to worry about at that point?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. So let's focus on the things that you do control, that you do have a way to affect, and just focusing on your business and focusing on the growth and the positive, and surrounding yourself with those people that build you up and aren't looking at, the downside, and they're just looking at, here's how we can adjust and move on.
Todd, would you care if I made a book suggestion? We really haven't done book suggestions before, but I just got done reading in the last couple of weeks for the second time a book that directly impacts this.
Yeah, please do.
So there's a book I've read twice now. We're reading it with a couple of staff members right now, but I also went through this with my church in our small group. It's a book called Winning the War in Your Mind. It's by Craig Groeschel, and Pete, it just talks exactly about what you just talked about. Looking at things with a fear-based mentality instead of a trust mentality and a positive impact. And it actually goes into the neuroscience of how you think and how you perceive things as well. Really, really interesting book. And I think it's worth checking out. I will give you a heads up. It is from a Christian spiritual take on it. But again, the neuroscience that is mentioned in this book, it's solid stuff. So, if you're tempted to be walking in a little bit of fear on this market and for your business, man, let us just encourage you. Don't give up. Don't lose hope. You've been gifted with a lot of great insight and talent that you can bring to your photographers. So we want to be an encouragement to you.
Yeah. For sure. Just as humans, we have a thing called the fight or flight instinct, and it's natural. We've had it because if you're running from a bear in the woods, your body needs to kick in adrenaline. Like I'm not that fast. So I'm a big guy. You would think I would be very fast because I have long legs. I'm not that fast. Okay. So if this bear is getting me in the woods, I need some adrenaline to get my butt. And I know I got to try to be zigzagging. I can't climb anything to begin with, but bears can climb. Anyways, so it's natural for your body to like clench up and go, holy crap, what just happened? and you're like paralyzed, but you have to mentally fight through that. And you have to tell yourself that that's not the truth. And I think that's the important takeaway from my crazy bear story. But that's why you have it. You have it for a reason, but don't let it control you.
Todd, you know what I just had go through my mind? Have you seen that commercial? I don't remember what the commercial was advertising, but do you remember the commercial where it shows a guy by a stream? I think he's fishing or something, and a bear comes up and they start boxing over a fish. Do you remember that?
I vaguely do. So yeah,
vaguely. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to send you the link on it.
I think
Pete,
Nick Kell's produced. I think Nick
so.
Kell's produced it.
Nick, yeah, it could have been Nick. Anyway, all right. So, okay. In light of all of this, and we'll try to maybe start to wrap things up here a little bit. Really good information, Pete. Mm-hmm. You said some businesses are probably going to close through the recession. For those that don't, how should they prepare themselves to absorb potential new clients?
Yeah, so the people who focus on the fear are much more likely to throw in the towel, and you're going to have that in your local area, because not everybody's listening to this podcast. Not everybody is going to look at the bright side of things, and so you are going to have some competitors, and they are going to close, and so. A lot of people are going to ignore the tips in this podcast. They're going to ignore that doubling down on their marketing. And when those competitors close, you do need to be prepared to absorb some of the clients that are going to be out there. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had one of our competitors call us up and say, "Hey, I'm done, and I want to see if you can take my clients on." And he was a solo shooter, so it wasn't a huge competitor to the market. But I'd known him a couple of times. We actually did a headshot event at together. At one of the association meetings that we went to and whatnot. So I didn't know him, but I knew of him enough, and we're friendly. But he decided that with all the uncertainty, it was better for him to just get a job that was a little bit more stable and paid more. He's getting a little older, and it's always best to have higher income towards the end of your working years to for retirement. And he just said, "Yeah, I'm done." And he wanted to see if I could if he could send his clients to me. I said, of course, why would I say no?
Right.
But, luckily he had called my assistant, and so I had a little bit of time to think this through before I fully responded. And so before I called him back and said, and offered him anything or anything like that, I had a plan of, I was prepared to even give a referral fee, if he wanted, so having a referral fee or a discount code or whatnot. So I had a couple plans and got on the phone with him, and all he wanted was to make sure that his clients were going to get taken care of and that he could, pass them off. And so that was good. That was awesome. I created a coupon code and said, here, send out your email, with this coupon code, and I'll give them, I said something low. It was like 10% off or $20 off or whatever. And, by the time that we were done with the conversation, I realized that he didn't want anything for it. I was like, you know what? I'll give him $50 off their first shoot. Use this coupon code. And now once they've used that coupon code, they've ordered from me. Now they're in my ecosystem. Now I can market to them. Now I can, show them all of the different things that we offer. Because one of the things is that he was just a photographer. He may have done some floor plan virtual tour stuff. I think, I don't know. I didn't pay attention. But he's truly a photographer. He did great with portraits and all of that stuff. So I would not be surprised if that was all he focused on. And
no pun intended, right?
Yeah. No.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help that. Sorry. Okay, go ahead. I've just totally derailed your train there.
But I can then market to those clients and go and move forward. And surprisingly enough, he sent that email out, and I had a dozen people schedule already. That through his card, his coupon code, and so it's being prepared for that. Not necessarily that you're gonna get that, but make sure that you're prepared. Think that through. If one of your competitors were to say, I'm done, and they close their doors and pack up shop, what could you do if they approach you, or what could you do if you find that you get new clients coming in and say, yeah, my photographer just up and closed, so I need a new one, and say, well, we'd be glad to step in here, we'll give you a discount for that or whatnot, or whatever it happens to be.
Right.
And so, like I said, I had the advantage of having to being able to return that phone call and not having that phone call on the spot. And so I was able to think that through and see, well, what would they want? Some people, when they close their doors, are going to be a little bit more revenue sensitive, and they're saying, you know what, I'll give them to you if I can get a kickback, and so having that referral at least thought through is like, what would it be worth to me, and then what could I offer as a switching client discount if I were to offer a discount.
So Pete, if somebody listening right now or watching on YouTube, if they're wanting some more information or get some more ideas on how they can market themselves through a recession, you have a lot of great insight on this. You have a long background in marketing, direct marketing as well. How can somebody reach you?
You can follow me on any of the social media networks at Servant360, or you can just email me, Pete@Servant360nm.com.
There we go. Pete Stagl, our guest for this Owner Spotlight series from Servant 360. Pete, thank you so much for taking time with us. It's always fun to talk with you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, so thanks again, Pete. Fabulous information. Sorry for the camera switch up here, little technical things. I'm back on my laptop. I think I have broken my main camera with my face. So you don't... If you're listening to this, you're like, what is going on with Todd today? But my camera switched. I was on a good looking camera, and now I'm on a bad looking camera. I need all the help I can get. Anyways, let's bring this thing home because I'm to that point. But in all seriousness, please implement something out of this podcast today. Either find a group, a networking group, begin talking to your agents like this. The beautiful thing is the market to them, media already. Just get the idea, understand what the message it is to your client, create the video and throw it out there. It doesn't have to be 60 or 90 or 30 or 60 minutes long. Make it 2 minutes, make it 1 minute. But I just encourage you to do something. If you need an accountability partner, I do this a lot at the office, email me and tell me what you're going to do. hello@spiro.media. I will hold you accountable. Tell me when you're going to do it, what you're going to do, and I will be your accountability buddy so that you get it done. There's some stat somewhere that says that you're probably going to, if you have an accountability buddy, you're probably going to do it 80% more of the time. I don't know what the stat is. I just made that all up because most stats are made up anyways. but I'm serious about an accountability buddy. Email me. I will call you and be like, send me the video. Did you email your agents? Did you go to the board? What did you do this week? I will hold you accountable. It's all it takes, because once you're accountable, there's something in your mind that kicks in and it says, oh crap, I got to do this. So please email me, hello@spiro.media, and I will be your accountability buddy. Thank you for tuning in this week. If you have not subscribed, please just click the button. That helps us greatly, and it notifies you of when the newest podcast launches.
And if you find this helpful and beneficial to you and to your business, and you've developed some friendships and relationships with real estate media companies in other markets, and you think they can benefit, we're in this to really bring value to you and just be a part of that community. So sharing it with others it just helps everybody. So thank you for the opportunity to take some time out of your day. If you're watching this on YouTube, or maybe you need to listen to it, you can catch us on really any of the major podcasting audio platforms, Apple, Amazon, iHeart, Spotify, all of those. And you can go to spiromedia.podbean.com to get the audio version of this as well. Pete, again, thank you so much. Enjoyed it. And for those of you listening, just enjoy what you've been blessed with. Be thankful for what you've been blessed with, especially around this Thanksgiving season, and take a breath.
Thank you for joining us for the Spiro Podcast, Managing Your Real Estate Photography and Videography Business. This is a production of Spiro and Wow Video Tours. You can find out more about Spiro's real estate media business management software at our website, spiro.media.